What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about something that everyone struggles with. They need to know how to deal with it, and honey, that is called procrastination. We need to be able to boost our productivity up, and so that is why I'm making this video. I literally just had the craziest week, and it started making me realize what I do to be more productive and to get my work done and get it done on time. And so yeah, let's begin. I'm going to be sharing my 5 tips with you that seem to be working out well, and so I hope they work for you too. Tip number 1, super simple, super basic, and it is literally just writing down a list of things that you want to accomplish and the date you want to accomplish by, and just put them in order, and that is it. So this tip really just comes from the planning side of me. I like to make sure I'm not missing anything or I'm not doing anything later than I'm supposed to be doing it. So that is why I just use this to help me look at the bigger picture and to just focus on the smaller things. So yeah, that is tip number 1. And now we move on to tip number 2. And this one here is literally just blocking off your calendar. And you block off the things that you have to be doing at a certain time. So for example, if you're at work from 9 to 3, you just block that time off. And then if you have like another appointment afterwards, you block that off. So this just leaves you with the time you actually have to do everything else that you want to do. So you're not setting unrealistic expectations for yourself, and you're not thinking you have more time than you actually do. So that just makes, that sort of just motivates me at least to be more productive when I have the time to do it. So yeah, that is tip number 2. And now we move on to tip number 3. So this one is, I'll start with a question. Okay, how many of you have ever said like, okay, I'm gonna begin doing my work at 3 p.m. and then it is 3:02 and you're like, gotta check back at 3:30, or let's check back at 4. Yeah, that one has, honestly, I have done that so many times before when I used to set like a specific time to start, because things happen and you just miss that like very second. And then you're wasting time waiting for another hour or waiting for another half an hour to be like an even number. And so what I like to do, and this is my 3rd tip, is just set hourless goals. And so that basically means more of setting a time frame. So if you decide to do work, you could say, I decide I want to do my work at or between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. And so even if you start at 3:06, you're still within your goal of when you want it to start, and that just saves you so much time. I cannot even explain. It's ridiculous how many times I've done like oh, I'm gonna skip this whole hour because it's like 2 minutes after the time I said I wanted to start. So yeah, that is tip number 3. And also just start setting these time frames way ahead than you're supposed to be doing things. So if you have like 1 week to complete something, start on day 1 and set a time frame on day 1. And you don't have to do everything. You could just do a couple pages or do just a tiny bit of it, and so that you're not stressing yourself out at the very end. So try to start as early as possible. This is literally the most difficult thing because we find all the reasons to procrastinate, but when we actually start earlier, it is so much more helpful. So yeah, that was tip number 3. Tip number 4, and this one is really important to me. I think realizing this has probably been so helpful in actually improving my productivity. And so tip number 4 is just knowing the space that you can work in and knowing the hours that you can work during. So this kind of sounds similar to tip number 2, but it is a little different. So for me, I can never ever ever work at home. Like, I will literally find every other reason to stop doing my work and to like just waste the whole day. Honestly, I'm like, gotta have a snack, gotta take a nap, gotta watch some Netflix. And so I really need like a typical work environment. So I tend to go to my university, even if it was on a weekend and I needed to do something, I will go there because I know that's where I'm gonna do work. Or if it was a little less intense of work, so if it was just like reading an article or something, I'd go to like a super quiet cafe, nothing too busy, nothing in the center of downtown or anything like that, because I can get distracted super easy. And so that is the place, or like sort of the environment that I can work in best. And then knowing the hours, so literally my brain switches off at 5 p.m. for anything productive. And if I have to stretch it, like I could go until maybe 7:30 or 8. And so I really have to start working earlier in the morning. So I would wake up at like 5:30, get dressed, and then be at my university to start working at 7 a.m. even though I don't have like class at 9 a.m. until 9 a.m. So yeah, morning person here when it comes to doing anything productive. And so you just have to know what works best for you. So if you are a night owl and you like to stay up all hours of the night doing your work and it actually helps you, then you should definitely do that. So yeah, just know the environment and know the hours you can work in, because that honestly helps so much. And sometimes these things change. Like sometimes I just am so tired of being at my university, I literally just have to leave and find somewhere else. And so yeah, things change. You don't have to stick to that one place, you don't have to stick to that one time. So that is what my 4th tip is. And that brings us to our 5th and final tip. And this one is like, honestly, some people might just like completely disregard this, but you shouldn't. Like, this is super important. It's just as important as actually doing the work. And it is really just take your break, because there is no point in struggling for 2 hours trying to write 2 paragraphs when you could have done that in 20 minutes if you'd actually taken your break. So yeah, your brain definitely needs time to refresh and reset, and you need to like sort of like let go, because it's very exhausting to be constantly working. And some people feel guilty about taking breaks, and honestly sometimes I'm one of these people. But it is just as important, because 1, you're not going to be doing things as efficiently as you could have, and 2, you're not even going to be delivering like your best work because you're so tired that you're just like, I gotta get this done. So yeah, take your break. It is important, your brain needs it, you need it, and you deserve it because you've been working hard, and so you deserve your break. And so those are my 5 tips that help me stay productive, that help me get my things done when I need to do them, and I hope they work for you. And actually there is one more thing that I'd like to share, and that is not really a tip, but it's more of a tool. I was exposed to this app in high school. It's called Self-Control, and it's super sad that we have to use this at times, but I mean, if it's there, just might as well make use of it. So this is an app for Macs, and I'm not sure if there's the exact one for Windows, but I'm sure there are going to be similar ones. So it is literally just, you enter all the websites on your computer that you do not want to be using for a certain period of time, and then when you hit start, you cannot like you cannot end the time earlier than it's actually supposed to end. So if you even like shut off your computer, or if you did anything, that those websites will be blocked to you until that time is over. And so I haven't really used it as much as I used to this year, and which is a good thing, but sometimes like you just need that extra, like you just need to be extra strict with yourself and say like, you know, I am not wasting time on social media, I'm not wasting time like on YouTube or whatever it is. So yeah, that is something that I use as well. I can leave a link below to download it, but of course download it at your own risk. I haven't had any issues with that app, and so it works for me, but you know, just never know what happens. And so yeah, if you need it, download at your own risk. Those were my 5 tips that really help me when I need to get my work done and I need to do it on time and I have a lot of things going on, work, school, and of course life. If you have any other tips that you use and would like to share, I would definitely like to hear them and try them. So please leave a comment down below. You know the drill to hit like and subscribe, so I'm just gonna leave that with you, and that is all we have today. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!